Hey Smokin Gang, welcome back to Smokin Tarot. I'm Tasha, that tarot reader, and I'm about to do a part two of the Nolan Wells case reading that I started yesterday. I want to make this one more clear. I want to explain the first part real quick because I read it when the Spirit led me to read it. It was kind of like on the side. It was odd how I did it, but I was just going with the flow of what Spirit wanted me to do. Because my intention wasn't to do the reading at that time, but I was led to do it just like I'm being led to do it right now. I couldn't rest this morning without doing a part two to Nolan, the late Nolan Wells's case. All right, because there's some more developments that have come up. Um, and a lot of them verified what I had said yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and do a part two to the Nolan Wells reading that I did yesterday. All right. First, I'm going to read the. I'm sorry. First, I'm going to ring the sound bell. The sound bowl. All right. This photo here is a depiction of Nolan. Of course, it's not Nolan, but it's a depiction of him that I'm using for the reading, for the purpose of the reading. I'm using the same exact cards that I used yesterday. And right here on the opening of the cards, as you see, so there's someone who's a snake, a woman who's a snake in the grass in this, and the grave. All right? They are the cause of his demise. All right? I'm going to put those cards here on the side. Okay? All right, we're going to start from the top here. Wow. Okay? Now, the first card on the top is the dog. Second card, clouds. Third cloud, I'm sorry. Third card is the sun. Okay? For those of you who saw my reading yesterday, you know the cloud and the sun came up yesterday, as well as the snake. Okay? Stars. a lady. The journal came up yesterday as well. The ship, a boat. I'm going to read these intuitively, by the way. Cross. So we have the ship or boat and the cross. All right, first we're going to start with the dog. The dog signifies someone you can trust, a loyal friend. So this is signifying that Nolan was around people he thought he could trust. He was around friends, or so he thought. All right. Clouds. A murky situation, being all dark and mysterious. People are trying to dodge his murder and say that it was a accidental drowning, and people are not talking. So it's making this situation very murky and cloudy, all right, and unsure. The sun is out here to expose the darkness of the snake, okay, and snakes involved. So there's more than one snake here, okay. The stars, that usually signifies something amazing, great, or something that happens after the darkness. When darkness falls, it's the stars, okay? Like a tower moment or something like that. So we're on the other side of this right now. So I will be trying to get a clarification on the stars, all right? The lady, so there is a woman involved. I don't know if the woman set young Nolan up, or if this was a woman that he was pursuing, or a woman that was pursuing him. But there is a woman involved in this, or mothers of the kids involved, and we'll see. Journal came up yesterday. Journal came up yesterday as well, because back in these days when these cards were first written out, it's signifying the times. Like back in the, I don't know, 1800s, 17, whatever. Not 17, I don't know if these go back that. I think they do, probably 17. But anyway, journaling was how things were written down. There was newspapers, old-fashioned stuff, right? So now, journal is social media, phones, emails, text messages. This is being noted everywhere, okay? So that's what journal means in this reading. The ship, which is the boat or the boats that are involved in this crime, all right? So there, of course, was a boat involved, all right? We know that. The cross is his crossing over, okay? Respect for his demise or his death, all right? Or, for crosses for Christianity, God, who was watching over him or watched over him, all right? And of course, in the end, there's the grave, unfortunately, okay? His ending. All right. So let's get to clarification of the cards. And for clarification, I am using the Hoodoo Tarot as I used yesterday, okay? All right. First thing I want to clarify is the dog. But we already know what that is, right? That's his friends, or the people he thought were his friends. Okay. Spirit, clarify the dog for us, please. The friend or the loyal, who we thought was loyal to him. Ace of Sticks. And that is the Ace of Wands. And that actually came up. That is someone who, or new creativity. So this person is creating something, creating lies, all right? The Mother of Wands. You see this? Big as day. Mother of Wands. Okay, this is the mother of someone who is helping with this, or helping, or maybe defending her son, all right? And here's Big Mama. Big Mama. Once again, mom is coming up, okay? All right, we're going to clarify the clouds. Spirit, we have since learned too, unfortunately, that young Nolan was crying for his mother when he passed. I have two young sons of my own. And knowing that, tears my heart out for his mother. Okay? So I asked for clarification of the clouds. And this is Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Okay? So it says Son of Pentacles, but it's the Page of Pentacles. That is what it stands for. But this is another one of the boys, like I said, who is not being honest, who is keeping things murky. So that is the clarification for clouds right here. Okay. Railroad bill. In this, I believe they're going to try to railroad someone. Maybe they're going to try to railroad his best friend, which they've already tried to say had something to do with it. Okay? They did an interview with his best friend, who was there, but he wasn't there. Like, he wasn't on the same boat. He wasn't with the same friends as Nolan. Okay? So he has no involvement. However, they're going to try to railroad someone outside of these boys who are guilty of this. So that is clarification for the clouds. We're going to clarify the sun. Daughter of Knives, which is the Page of Swords. But it came in reverse. They're trying not to look into this. This is the Page of Swords in reverse. Those of you who are readers know what the Page of Swords means. That's someone who's looking into something or looking in on someone. They are trying not to look into this. You understand? That is clarifying the sun, all right? One more card to clarify the sun, Spirit. Yeah, she came up yesterday. Mother of Baskets, which is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, okay? This person is also trying to not let the truth be revealed, but the sun is shining on her and the others who are trying to not let this be uncovered, okay? So they will be exposed. The sun will expose these people. Next is the clarification of the stars. Clarify the stars, please. John Horse. Number four. I'm sorry, because my mind is messed up. I'm going to have to look at this real quick. Hold on just a second. Emperor, John Horse. Okay. So, John Horse stands for the Emperor in the tarot cards. So someone with the power is involved. Of course, we've said that. Could be a judge, a former judge, male or female. Okay? Page of Wands. Okay? Page of Wands. Which on here it says Daughter of Sticks, but this is a young person. And let me clarify that, because there's a young person riding in, okay? They may end up being the star of this whole thing. It may be the young woman who is actually helping Ben Crump, all right? Let's clarify the lady or the woman who may be a part of this as well. Okay? This says Mother of Baskets, which is, I'm sorry, Daughter of Baskets. This is another page, young person. Page of Cups. And cups usually means emotions. It even means love. They're bringing in, a page is usually bringing in information about love, okay? Or it may be if someone, the young woman, yes, this is perfect, the young woman that he was pursuing or was pursuing him. Or if they weren't pursuing each other, because we may be wrong about that, but then there was a report that there was a young woman that he was interested in on the island. But we don't know for sure. That is alleged. But this does signify that there was a young woman involved in this when it comes to young Nolan. Okay? There is a young girl or woman of interest, or of interest to him. Okay? Or was interested in him. Alright? And the Magician comes up again when clarifying her. Okay? So the Magician in here, which is Black Herman, the Magician is in tarot as someone who is manipulative. If there is a woman involved in this, it could have been someone who set him up. There's a possible setup, alleged setup, okay? Hopefully I'm wrong on that. All right? This is the Magician, Magician energy, okay? A manipulator, a creator of chaos. Yeah. Another card came through. Pa. Father. Or, and this is to again clarify the young lady, okay? So the father of this young lady may want her to stay quiet or stay out of this, so she will be protected by this man, by her father, okay? Of course. All right? I'm sorry, I didn't move on to clarify that. But number 5 is Bishop Mason. Okay. This is the Hierophant, which usually stands for tradition. And this is still the lady. This came out, you know, when I was shuffling, I didn't move on to the journal yet. So we are still clarifying the lady, the young lady. So this is the Hierophant. Her father could be someone of importance, a traditionalist, good old boys, because this is a card that stands for tradition, all right? And not Mr. Mason himself. I mean, remember, we're reading these intuitively concerning the case of Nolan Wells, okay? All right. So there's a group around this young woman who will keep her protected. Okay, now let's clarify the journal, which would be, okay, it jumped right out. Okay, I'm back. I do apologize. I had to change that battery. Okay, we left off clarifying the journal. 2 cards did come out. before I went and did that. All right. So we have Father of Sticks, which is the King of Wands. King of Wands. Okay. Over journal. Okay. So Wands, we're gonna start there, down to earth. King of Wands is someone who like is a creative person, crafty person. Okay. Strong on that. Yesterday, when a card similar to this came out on journal, I put that as Ben Crump. Okay. So it may be a crafty individual who will get this information out. And it also could signify a collective of people who will get this out. It may even be one of the fathers of the children who will help out the young lady who is getting the information out. Okay, there is someone else who's helping with the investigation. Okay, who was there. The next is the Nine of Knives, which is a Nine of Swords. Okay, Nine of Swords in tarot. Let me also show this card too. I didn't show that. Okay, Nine of Swords in tarot is nightmares. Someone's up, they're not getting any sleep for this. Okay, this is turned into a huge nightmare for everyone involved. As far as clarifying the journal, this could be, they could be threatening this person who is getting the news out there. Um, we can't sleep as a collective. Okay, until we get him justice. You know what I mean? Like, we're not literally, but we are not going to let this rest. So this is all encompassing for everyone who is concerned. Okay, so especially for those young men, I'm sure some of them may be having nightmares about this. All right, and somebody more people need to come forward. All right, let's clarify the ship, which are the boats, or the boat that um, Nolan was on prior to his death. I'm not saying that he fell off a boat or anything like that. We know otherwise because the independent autopsy showed that there was no water in his lungs. So there is no drowning, as much as they would like us to believe that. Okay, so the ship, we're clarifying the ship right now, or the boat. Okay, or we're going to say alleged. Okay, I got to remember to say alleged. All right, we have Six of Wands. This is the boat they were celebrating. So Six of Wands is a celebration, or someone's getting an award for something, or the card has someone just, if you're looking at a regular tarot card, someone's like celebrating some award they got, promotion in life, something. So they were on that boat, the ship, celebrating. Okay, the 4th of July. All right. However, death. The death card came up. Okay. So he was found by water. Allegedly, his body was taken to where the boats and the water was. So at first, all day on 4th of July, they were all celebrating, and probably celebrated after the fact. The person that's guilty of this, or the persons guilty of this. Okay. All right. And this is where, or close to where, he passed away, in water. All right. Could have been the swimming pool as well. I'm not going to discount that, but the jury's still out on the authenticity of the photo. Okay. death. So his death was caused there. All right. Let's clarify the cross. Them bones. Okay. I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me gather myself. All right. Them bones is for judgment. And this is the right card because they will be receiving judgment for what they did. Judgment will be falling upon the people guilty of this crime. Judgment. Like as I said yesterday, justice will be served to young Nolan, okay, and his family. And this is to clarify the cross. Judgment. Them bones will be dug up. In other words, the truth will come out. Here's Father Sims, temperance. In other words, to be patient. So he's out there in the muck and he's pouring the water. So this is temperance. So I think we need to have patience about this. This is signifying we need to have patience. Okay? We need to have patience about this because justice, or they will receive judgment. It will come out. The truth, okay? The truth right here. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, this was backwards. Okay. See him pouring his water right here? That's for patience, temperance for us to, because it will come out in time, okay? The truth. Them bones, or which is not literal bones, but the truth of what happened will be dug up, will come up, all right? That's a message, okay? Because look at this lady here. She's like, oh my God. Yep. It might be someone you least expect. Probably the person that probably is allegedly could be the person he trusted most. Look at this. Loyal friend is involved. Okay. Okay. We get all this right, y'all. So let's look at the bottom of the decks. All right. Mother of Knives. Okay. Queen of Swords. There will be a Queen of Swords involved. I think we know who that person might be. We have allegedly people who are judges and former judges and all types of professionals involved in this, okay? Who may try to protect their own, okay? They're going to protect their own. Let me pull another card. Oh my God. Yep. Yep. I want this to see what I'm doing. See, this camera's watching everything, okay? All right. 10 of Knives. This came out yesterday too. You know what that is? 10 of Swords. Betrayal. Betrayal. Backstabbing. A bad ending. A terrible ending for our young man. Okay? A backstab of his people who, it may have been one person or people he trusted most. He was betrayed. And you will be found out, okay? You will be found out who you are. Okay? He was betrayed. So you see how Spirit just told me, pull another card, pull another card. Okay, where is Mother of Knives, okay? All right. So, Before I move on to the bottom of that deck, I see Seven of Coins here, Seven of Pentacles. They're building their story, okay? Like we said, you know, this is a card of working on something, working to build, usually money. But in this case, they're working to build up that life. They're building something in order to prevent prosecution, all right? Three of Swords, heartache, heartbreak for everyone involved. Okay? Up. I can't ignore this either, y'all. This came up yesterday too. I'm sorry. I just cannot ignore these cards. Nine of Baskets, which is a Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment was committed here by the group that went crazy and murdered this young man. That was their wish fulfillment. So that was, you know, and the people who are covering for these young men, their wish fulfillment is for their relatives to not be accused of this crime, okay? Allegedly, all right? I can't ignore this either, y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, Seven of Cups, that came out yesterday too, okay? Seven of Cups means options. As they were unaliving young Nolan, they were weighing out options on what to do to him or what to do with him once they had done it. So this is an options card. This group, I said a group of seven, okay? Seven. Ace of Swords. Strategic move is being made on their end. But we as a collective have strategies of our own, all right? And I also did mention something was used in his crime, which they did say it was a blunt instrument, unfortunately. But something other than just them jumping on him was used in his demise, okay? All right, allegedly. We're going to put allegedly on this, but the spirit is talking, okay? Three of Coins came up. Three of Pentacles. This is a group of people, like yesterday. These are coming up, and I cannot ignore these cards. Three of Pentacles is a group of people working together to accomplish a goal. The Fool. But this card, I want you to look at it, and I know the meaning of this card because this is one of them that I read in this card deck, right? This is a Caucasian gentleman walking away from the grave of a slave owner. Someone that he admired. You follow me? So, in other words, this is a card showing how some fools are going to try to get these people off who are guilty of murdering this black man. Someone who is following the old ways, the old traditions, a group that is following the old ways, the good old boys, will work very hard to try not to let this end in conviction for those young men, Caucasian men who did this, okay? Allegedly, okay? All right. Let's go on into the bottoms of the deck here. Of the Lenormand, Ryder is coming in with more information. So there's no more information will be coming in about this murder, okay? All right, my battery's dying, y'all. All right, thank y'all so much for coming in. This is all I got right now. Thank y'all so much for coming back for another reading. I'm Tasha with Smokin Tarot. Rest in peace, dear Nolan Wells. You will receive justice. you will receive it, sir. And to the family, you will receive justice for your son.